we're just going to roll in today because I'm already laughing.
Yeah.
One of my good friends on the show, one of the arguably the greatest comics coming around the country, who's got still so much more to achieve. Look at him, Elliot Loney. He's out of control.
Jakey, it's good to be here, mate.
He's got the sunnies on his old, don't you?
Yeah. Well, my eyes are redder than the devil's dick. I've been doing stand-up every night, mate. It's all a blur. I haven't slept in days. I'm constantly on the edge.
We started 45 minutes late, and he's actually just been here out the front eating scrambled eggs on toast for about 45 minutes, which would take 5 minutes to eat, by the way. But I don't know what he was doing. So
we were just commenting on the strange things that we were seeing.
Yeah, magpies. We
were also just saying that there's so many weird people around. There's always been weirdos around, don't get me wrong, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
But I've just come to realise that every time I walk down the street, and even on our street, which we won't disclose
we
for
won't
obvious
disclose,
reasons.
but we are the mafia of it.
Exactly. But, mate, I walk around and I'm like, man, where do these people come from? Like, where do they actually come from?
What's a word? Give me, is there any obvious weird encounters you've had of late?
100%, mate. So, as I've been saying, I've just started doing stand-up again. I had a gig on Tuesday night at the Comics Lounge in front of 450 people. Great gig, was awesome. And then the next night, I went to a dive bar on Chapel Street and there were 8 people there. And while one of my best mates was on stage doing his set, a smacky comes past, right, on a BMX bike, pink shirt, tits, shaved head, mohawk, one tooth. And rolls in on this BMX bike. And he's just, oh, sorry, man, shit. And I was just like, oh, we're going to have fun tonight.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but I was just like, mate, this guy's halfway between, like honestly, he was halfway into becoming Smeagol. Like, he was at the halfway point.
No
like, I'm
way.
like, a couple more hits of the methadone.
He's gone.
A couple more hits of ice, mate. He's literally fucking 100% Gollum. Like, he's done.
Jeez. Do you find it harder performing in front of those crowds?
Mate,
like the 8 people as opposed to the 450 at the Comics Lounge?
To be honest, it's just a very different beast. Like, every crowd is different. And I think, like, it's all like working the muscle, you know? You just become more comfortable on stage, which is what I'm trying to do. My whole motto at the moment is to become comfortable being uncomfortable. So I'm just trying to get up on stage as much as I can and just kind of soak up the fact that I'm there and just be present, stay where my feet are in the moment. So I actually used him in my set. I said,
I was going to say.
He was sitting there like in the front row like this with his fucking tits out and the pink shit. And I'm like, mate, I used to be a male stripper at a time. I hung up the G-string. I've seen a lot of hands, mate. I just want to let you know you have the best set of tits I've ever seen. And he was like, oh, thanks, man. And I walked over to my mate's table and he had literally a jar of nuts and they were all gone. I'm like, mate, are there any nuts left? He goes, nah, mate, we're done. I said, well, that's unfortunate because now I'm going to have to bust one on this man's chest. And his laugh, man, reverberated through the place. He's like, oh, yeah, man, fucking hell. Like, everyone's losing it. There's like 8 people there. Mate, it's just absolute mayhem.
Oh, but how is the comedy going? Obviously, you've been going hard. I don't think many people know how many nights you're there a week and for how long.
Yeah, man. I've just been doing I'm getting up anywhere I can, you know, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 10 minutes, whether it's 15, whatever, just trying to get up as many spots as I can, anywhere I can go. I'm not discriminating. I don't care. And I just want to get up on stage and just do my thing. That's it. I don't care if it's in front of 1,000 people or fucking 3 people. I'm just getting on stage. That's all I want.
It's funny because when people, and I was telling Braden this before, but I was like, with you, everyone knows how funny you are and your stand-up comedy and even all your skits that you continuously still do. But like no one really knows that you've had like a real sort of fear of like stand-up or just like the anxiety you get. You're like, I don't even really want to do that. Yeah,
man. Well, I mean, I think we spoke, was it last time we did a potty, I spoke about, was it with you or Tommy? I can't remember which one.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I did speak about it recently. I was on a podcast and I was talking about the fact that like I genuinely didn't like stand-up comedy and like how I was like fearful of it and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's definitely been like a bit of a love-hate relationship with me there, but it was more just like, it's not that I hate stand-up comedy. Like I've got so much respect for everyone who does stand-up comedy and I love comedy, the art, you know what I mean? It's just like, for me, it was just such an anxiety-inducing thing that I just never wanted to do it. Like it just got to the point where it was just like I couldn't get on stage, man.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. I couldn't.
It's literally like your calling and your thing, and it's still like impacted. So that's part of the reason why you're doing it as well, to get like break the shackles of not doing stand up for a while with COVID and whatever as well.
100%, man. So like I think, I don't know if you saw, like I made a Facebook status the other day. I don't know if you read it, but I was talking about how pretty much the whole journey and like why I gave it away and why I've come back and stuff like that. There's a couple of really big things coming up in June, July that I can't exactly talk about now. We have spoken about
I'm
this.
excited for you to share though when you do.
Yeah, so hopefully this yields a new opportunity for me and carves out a new path for me. But that's part of the reason why I got back into it, because I was just kind of like, well, if I'm going to do this thing, I have to be very careful about how I talk about it.
I might be just slip it and edit it out.
I have to be very careful because, I'm not going to jump on stage at this thing and be like getting the 8 Mile thing and get the jitters.
You're getting all the cobwebs out now.
Getting the cobwebs out now. So
go.
that's what I was, just sort of reiterate what I said earlier, just getting up everywhere. Like I don't care. Like I'll go anywhere, man. Like I'll just stand up and do my set.
It's fascinating. Now, with, actually just thinking when we were speaking about it last, we talked about the podcast. It was when you picked me up to go to my night out on my birthday. It took us an hour and a half to find a car park. We were the first ones there. And almost the last ones to get inside because he just drove the same block.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's where we had this D&M about stand-up comedy.
We did, man, but that was funny. We're actually thinking about that, like the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Yeah, 100%. Like we should have gone somewhere else, but we did the same loop.
If it wasn't my birthday, we both said we would have gone home.
Yeah, 100%.
We would have given in.
Yeah, we got there like last because when we got there, your booth was set up. There was like 40 blokes there. Like they were like, Jakey, where have you been?
Fucking been. Hey, boys. Sorry, mate. Uber Elliot fucking around over
sorry,
there.
guys.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah.
No, but one of the most notable things, which we'll talk about, is obviously your hectic month of December, January, even a bit of Feb with the Oz Open.
Yeah.
Now it's like this is where the D grade Elliot comes out. Obviously, this
Z grade, mate.
Z grade. Obviously, now with what's coming up, it's going to be slightly different. But historically, what would you normally be doing? Like while Nick and Tanasi are away,
aside from batting me Johnson, like what is it? What is it you want to know?
Well, like, do you know what I mean? Like, because you're literally front and center everywhere, and then it's like he's forgotten, and then he comes back.
Yeah, I saw a comment actually on Facebook about that. They were like, Elliot's like the Mariah Carey of tennis. Like he comes out once a year, like she does on the Christmas album or something. But yeah, no, it's I don't know. Like I think because I guess over the last few years I've had that big fear of stand up. Usually back in the day, I'd probably be doing gigs and just honing the craft a little bit. But then I'd just be sort of tennis coaching, batting me Johnson,
Jesus Christ.
getting doughies from chicks.
Yeah.
Mate, honestly, just, I don't know, just trying to fill my time with anything that I can get my hands on, really. Seriously, like it's very different now that I'm in that, like a completely different headspace as I have been for the last few years. So mate, just filling my time with, I do like a few influencer thought type things where I'll do like a few.
You do them well.
Yeah, well, like Cocky said on the last podcast with Tommy Sheridan, he was like, you're like a NASCAR during the Oz Open, you'll just slap anything. And I was like, 100%. Like,
that is like such a good analogy.
It's true though, mate. Like I'll take it, like it's awesome. So,
but people don't understand with that, with you, is that you're actual very knowledgeable and you're actually very good at tennis too. So for you, I know there's a bit of added focus to like actually get a bit more sort of credibility where you can speak on tennis as opposed to be the humour aspect.
Well, that would be I think I'd love to do that as well. And I think every year I'm starting to do more and more stuff. Like 9 have been really good in sort of like, I guess like holding my hand through it and giving me more and more spots and more attention and stuff, which has been good. So every year I started off doing like all the gags and stuff, but now I feel like it's swung a little bit and I'm doing like 50% gags, 50% like actual candid chats about tennis.
Yeah.
Because like I do coach tennis. I did play like a hell of a lot of tennis as a kid and I still really enjoy a social hit. And so like I do watch a lot as well. So like I feel like I do have like a perspective on it.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah. And like I think I can, because I'm not a professional player, or I'm just like sort of like a I feel like I'm pretty relatable to the everyday man.
Yeah, which is that in every other sport is huge.
Yeah.
Like in other sports, fan content, as you could say,
Exactly.
or fan comments actually get a big following.
Yeah, exactly. So I think like it'd be good over every year. Like that's what I'm trying to gear towards. I've got a manager in Sydney, and she's trying to like help me get to that point as well. So hopefully next year I'll be doing even more of that. And I might even go to the US Open this year and see if I can do a little bit of stuff there.
I was going to say, because even for the actual sport itself, what you bring to those tournaments on the side, no one really does that.
It's pretty niche, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking insane.
It's very niche comedy.
He's putting on Rafa's fucking hair and talking to Rafa.
Yeah, no one else does it. But yeah, no, it's awesome though, man. I think it's really cool. Like, because it is that tennis type impersonation comedy is pretty niche, but it's amazing because tennis is such a loved sport and people are so fanatical about it. Like sport in general is a very fanatical thing.
Yeah.
But I do find that if I go anywhere in the world, because tennis is an international sport, I always find someone who 100% knows all about what I do, and they're like,
really?
It's crazy.
Even if you go a tournament around the world,
anywhere, man, like Canada, like America.
So you've got that rep in the sport.
Well, yeah, I just think that like if you're
if
you're a tennis fanatic, like they kind of know who I am because they're like, oh, you're the guy that does that. That's so funny because it's so relatable to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of Spanish people, because they're Nadal fans, have seen my Nadal impressions. So I've got people that don't speak English, but they're like,
no way.
Yeah. So it's happened like a fair bit, which is really cool to me. I find that really cool.
Which one of your tennis impressions gets the most traction?
Oh, it'd definitely be Rafa.
Is it Rafa?
Just because,
has he seen it?
I believe he has. I've heard that he has.
Okay.
But and like, you know, I think there is a video somewhere online of me in Montreal with Nick, with Kyrgios and Matt Reed, and we're on the court, and he came onto the practice court next to us. And I was in the pink shirt for some reason. I might have just done an impression of Rafa, and we literally locked eyes. And there's a video of him on camera, like looking at me and giving me the. Like I know who you are.
You're busted.
Yeah, I know who you are. You know, like he's definitely like I've heard quite a few people say that he's seen it.
I wonder does he like it? Who knows? I reckon he would.
I reckon he would.
I think you do a good impression of him.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, maybe at first he probably didn't know how to handle it and stuff. But I think like, you know, if anyone has a good sense of humor, they know that I'm just like taking the mickey. You know, I'm not like seriously.
No. Of course, yeah, like, it comes with good intent.
Exactly, man. Like I feel like that's one of the things I've said oftentimes about Nick Kyrgios, because mate, he's like got a great sense of humor. You know, I've been doing impersonations of him for ages, but he knows it's all love. You know,
it's literally the way. The funny thing, I've never seen him watch you do the hats.
Yeah,
like
the hat to the side,
the Boston Celtics jersey.
Yeah, it's so funny. He always brings that up. He's like, bro, I never wear hats, bro. Why are you doing that,
bro? Yeah, because you have this, and one of the things I've spoken to you about, which is fascinating. I would say it's a skill, but it's also an illness. But if you spend a long enough time with someone, because you have an incredibly long list, which maybe we'll do a couple of, but incredibly long list of some of your impressions of who you can do. I was so surprised with how long this list was. But then you alluded to me going like, no, there's like if I spend enough time with a person, I can literally start to pick up like their tendencies and their vocal like aspects, and I can impersonate it.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy.
It's weird, man. It's really weird. Like I feel like I've definitely got some sort of disorder. Like,
there's got to be undiagnosed.
But there's definitely something weird going on. It's so strange, man. Because as long as I can remember, it's such a strange thing to say. I've probably like. How do I explain this? Like drummed it out of myself over the years and become a little bit more normal. but like
going off the 15 minutes out the front there, he's lost the plot still, mate.
Yeah, but what I mean by that, man, is like it's just funny because like when I was a kid, I just remember like, and this is gonna sound so crook, but I just remember like because I was an only child and stuff, I would just like sit there and watch people. You know what I mean? Like I know that sounds really crook. But like I literally would, man. I'd just be like fascinated by not necessarily like what they were doing, but what they were saying and how they were saying it, and like I don't know. I would just absorb things like and nothing of note. Like I couldn't absorb any like schoolwork. I couldn't absorb anything like on a maths test.
Yeah.
You know, like they asked me like 1 + 1 was, I'd look at them like they had 4 heads. I'd be like, I don't know, bro. I remember in like year 1, man, they were doing dot to dot. Like how simple's dot to dot, right?
Yeah.
I vividly remember being in year 1 and this teacher like literally like throwing pens around the room because she was sitting with me, grade 1, me being like, no, it's 1, 2, 3. I was going like 1, 8, 5. Like, I couldn't work it out. Like that's how dumb I was with maths and stuff. But I had this crazy innate ability just to like read people and like pick up on like, I don't know, like emotional energy and stuff. Like I always knew, I could always pick up on someone's intentions. I could always pick up on the way they were speaking. Like it was weird, man. I had like this crazy, one side of my brain was like so advanced and the other side of my brain was like literally borderline, like
Not there.
like the dumbest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really?
like, yeah.
That
Like,
is unbelievable.
Yeah. So like I was almost like, I know this is going to sound outrageous, but in one way, like people would say like I was like the smartest dumb person they ever met. Like I was a genius in one part, but then like the dumbest person
That's
ever.
fascinating.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
My goodness. Yeah, because speaking of one of my favourite skits, which we actually should talk about this whole thing in general, but one of my favourite recent skits that I think it blew up on socials was Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Which, the most outrageous fucking court case I've ever seen. Have you been
mate,
watching it?
It's all over my TikTok. It's all I see, man.
Holy shit.
I'm like, I don't know why the algorithm's favouring it so much, but it's everywhere, isn't it?
How's it come on TV? Do you know anything about it?
Honestly, all I know is that like every time I go online, it's just always there. Like it's the only thing on my feed. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it's just there.
Yeah, I actually did a bit of research on this because they, like, obviously Johnny Depp's law team is fucking destroying Amber. They're taking her to the cleaners at the moment. So these two people that he has representing him, they were doing like a bit of background on.
Yeah.
And they purposely put it in, I don't know where the state is that they're doing it, but they purposely put the court case there because you can stream it. And Johnny Depp's team have been the instrumental part of wanting to put it online.
Yes.
So I don't know if this is to completely fuck her image like she's fucked his.
I do think, like, I mean, people like have asked about this. I've spoken about this a little bit off air with people because it seems to be like quite a common talking point at the moment.
Yeah.
But I just think like, obviously they're both a little bit whack. You can't like look at them and be like, Johnny's 100%
No, they
fine.
have to
But
be
at the
loose.
same time, that Amber chick is loose, bro.
Loose
Like,
as fuck.
I think she's more in the wrong than Johnny for sure.
Yeah.
But
seems
I
that
think
way.
like it's just funny because like she's not. I don't think that Amber Heard's really helping herself much.
No.
Like just because you can just kind of tell when someone's lying.
Yeah.
And I feel like the way she's like overcompensating all the time when she's on the stand is just like, you know, Johnny's so chill about everything.
Yeah.
And she's like always like pandering to the jury. She's like, believe me. Like,
Yeah. She's like, no, I definitely did not see that.
and Johnny's just taking the piss. He's like, a mega pain, you know? Like, he's like, yeah.
Can you give me some Johnny Depp, please?
Well, Johnny sits there like he's literally like on the hezzer, but no one seems to care.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So he'd sit there and be like, I just did ice in the car park and bashed 5 women, but I'm Johnny Depp. And they're all just like, Like, I feel like literally you can say anything, anything.
With his tone and like,
the way he speaks, man, like he's just so charismatic, man.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you can tell, like, I mean, I'll be very, very surprised if he doesn't win this case.
I know it'll be it's a big shock, but I'm very it just makes me lose faith in humanity that this is interesting to us.
Oh,
I think
100%,
gives a
man.
fuck.
Yeah.
They're absolutely out of control.
Out of control, bro.
Yeah,
out of control.
Like they're fighting over. Someone took a shit on someone's bed. Like that's fucked.
I don't understand
Then
that.
she chopped his finger off apparently or something in
It's just,
Australia.
man,
like,
it's the loosest thing ever. But the funny thing is, man, to me, it's like, why are we so preoccupied with this? Like, there's just so many issues going on in the world right now, man. Like, I don't know why that's all over my feed. Like, Russia invaded Ukraine, and that's now like an afterthought.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? It's all Johnny Depp, Amber. And I'm like, hang on a second. Like,
they're sent. It's decent. I was talking about this. We actually spoke about this with Tommy on one of our podcasts.
we're on the brink of World War III, mate.
We're watching this shit.
This
is fucked. This society is fucked.
Like the nuclear codes are like people have their finger on the pulse of that.
And then Johnny Depp talking about a megaphone.
It's nuts, man.
Oh, that was one of the great sayings.
Yeah.
Now, with your impressions and so forth and sort of what you're doing, like when did this start? Because it's been ongoing for a long time.
Oh, the impressions and stuff.
Yeah, well, because there's adults now, like grown-up men that were like, mate, you were so funny in my childhood.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. That happens a bit now. Yeah, so for example, like even last night, I went and watched a mate of mine, Ibi Akbar. I don't know if you've seen his stuff.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of it live.
He did the Palais Theatre last night. He's done, I think it was his 10th show ever. So I'll give you a little backstory here. I did a podcast with him not long ago. We met on the podcast, and I was just fascinated because I knew who he was, and I knew he was killing it. And like, I didn't even know that he would know who I was. And he was like, "Man, you're one of the reasons I got into comedy, man." I watched your videos like when I was a kid and stuff, and like I went to his show last night. It was inspiring for me to see because this guy's sold out the Palais.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow, and I just find that really interesting because like I forget because I've been around for a while now, and some of these comedians that are coming up, man, like they watch my videos when they were in high school and stuff. And so like, it's crazy to me that I have people coming up to me who are really successful, doing really well, being like, you're the reason I'm doing this kind of thing. It like gives me goosebumps,
That's
man. I'm
insane,
like, holy shit.
dude.
Yeah. Like I just completely.
What was the first one? Was it because my first one I ever saw of you was the 9A's footy coach.
Yeah. Yeah. The first.
With the filter of like.
The Mr. Parker.
Mr. Parker.
The first video I ever did was Man vs. Metro. That was a Bear Grylls parody.
Bear Grylls. Yeah, that's the other one.
That was the other one. That was from years ago. That was the first one. That was the one that sort of changed everything for me, you know, because that like YouTube was kind of at the time in its infancy, and then like I just remember, I think I've said this a couple of times, but I remember like putting it up with a mate of mine at the time, put it on his channel, and I just remember being like, oh, whatever, like I don't really care about whose channel it's on. Probably a big mistake at the time.
Yeah,
Definitely should have put it on my channel.
Yeah,
but.
Did that blow up on his?
It blew up, yeah, and he got a few subscribers off the back of it. But at the time, I was so young and naive. We were both kids, mate. We didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, oh, yeah, I don't really care where it goes because nothing's going to happen, right? Just put it up anyway. I remember going to bed, and I just remember waking up and seeing it. Like, I went www.youtube.com, and I've typed it up, and it was in the YouTube banner. Like, they had the suggested videos. Like, this is like worldwide. Like, it was there, like featured videos.
What year was this?
2013. So YouTube is kind of, it was like it was the most watched video in the entire world for that particular day.
Whoa, how many views are we talking?
Oh, I think it got like 500,000 views overnight.
That is unbelievable.
And I remember like refreshing because at the time, I'd never done a video. Like I was a fucking just come out, and I remember like refreshing the video and just being like, this can't be real. Like I just kept doing it, and then man, it was overnight. It was instantaneous. Like that week, like that. I think the weekend before, I went to a nightclub, and like I was just walking around, and like I couldn't get one conversation going with a chick.
Way.
You know what I mean? The week after that, I went to that same nightclub, and everyone was like, "Man vs. Metro, what the fuck?" Everyone's coming over asking for photos. Chicks finally wanted to talk to me.
No way.
Mate, it was so weird. It happened overnight. Like I just and so I got a taste at that time of what it was like to be famous, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me. It's such a fickle thing because I've been explaining this to someone recently. Like people ask, oh, do people still stop you on the street? And occasionally people still do, but it's all about like how topical you are at the time. Like people have really short memories, I think. Like there's been times where I've been posting a lot of content online and people have been coming up to me and like asking for photos, and I get stopped a lot. But because I haven't been as active on social media now, it's died down a lot. But it's crazy how like you make one video that goes viral and then everyone wants a piece of you, and then you disappear and they're like, I don't give a fuck about this guy. Like it happens like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I think like it's really cool that I've had like a taste of it, so I can objectively like understand what it's like to be like revered, but then also understand what it's like to be a nobody.
Yeah.
So like, you know, when I'm having conversations with guys like Kyrgios, who's like obviously like an insane different level of fame, like I've been out with him and it's just insane. I can understand where he's coming from because I can be like, look, I kind of know what that's like in a way.
Yeah, it's like when you talk tennis with him, probably you've played a bit enough
it's
to
like,
know.
it's like relatable.
You can relate. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, you know, so there was a time there for a little bit where I was like, do I want to do this? Like, because if I did ascend to that level of notoriety, would I be okay with that?
Yeah.
And it was like a conversation that I kept having, and then I was like, nah, I love making people laugh. I love doing comedy. I love doing stand-up. I love doing videos. That's just a fucking part of it. Like, you know, if you're going to be doing that kind of stuff, people are going to recognize you. People, you know, so it's kind of like...
I reckon that even when I've been out with you of recent times, whether people are coming up to you, I still reckon everyone in the room kind of knows who you are.
I think it depends. I think it's funny, man. Maybe they do, but I think like...
Well, they've seen you somewhere and they're like,
I recognise that head. Like, I've had a lot of people come up to me recently being like, I know your face, mate.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's fun. What do you do when you say that?
Yeah, I'm just like, mate, Crime Stoppers. It's just sort of there. Yeah. I'm like, don't tell anyone I'm here. But it's like, but you know, it's like I said before, it's like people have like, it's like, it's very fickle is the best way to describe it. Like if I'm making lots of videos, like say for example, tomorrow I made like a super viral video, then everyone would be back on the Elliot Loney train. But if I'm not making anything, like people just go, oh, like there's no point in me taking a photo with this guy because he's kind of like a bit, he's a bit yesterday's news. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's funny, man. It's really fickle. Like it's all the powers in you. You know, it's all like if you know, like you could go out tomorrow and make like a crazy viral video on YouTube and everyone would be like, Jakey,
yeah.
Like, you know, like it's just fucking
that.
crazy, man. Like it's amazing how this world works now, how like, you know, people can become stars overnight.
Especially, it's like things like TikTok as well.
Yeah, TikTok,
I mean, algorithms on that.
I was actually going to say this as well. Like I feel like now it's the market's so saturated. It's like you can be famous on one particular app. Like people come up to people on nightclubs and stuff now and go, oh, you're TikTok famous.
Yes.
Or you're like Insta famous. Or you're like Facebook famous. Like fame is now defined as like different tiers of fame.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah, there's a platform fame.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. Whereas like back in the day when there was just like television and stuff, it was like one. It's so different now, man. Everything's changing.
It's crazy. One of the you mentioned his name before, and I wanted to get what he's like off the court, but he's with Nick Kyrgios. Obviously, man, I saw a photo the other day. I reposted on our page for everyone listening, so they might have seen it. But it was like Nick Kyrgios versus the current top 5 or top 4, and there was literally like it was like 3-1 to Nick Kyrgios, 2-1. In regards to like how many times he's beaten them, and they beaten him, he'd like outweighed them all. And some of them, I think only Medvedev had beaten him. I don't know.
It was a 2-1 Medvedev, I think it was. Yeah, 2-1 Nick Kyrgios.
So it was just like fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, mate. Like I've said it a few times. Like I've got no umbrage in saying this at all. Like it's just like he's the most naturally talented tennis player I've ever seen in my life.
That's crazy.
And like I've been on the court with him before. I've spent a lot of time with him, and like he's a fascinating dude, man. Like he's a lot more intelligent than people give him credit for. He's a very smart guy. He's well spoken. He's funny. He's charismatic, man. When he gets on the court, like when we're on a practice court, like he just does stuff that like it just gives you goosebumps, man. You're like, I've never seen anyone do that before. Yeah. Like how much talent does this guy actually have? And like, I think he'd be the first to admit it over the years. Maybe he's just like kind of let his talent do the work. And obviously hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So you probably see a lot of guys in the top 10 now that Nick is literally a better player than on paper. But Nick's not there because he's just chosen to have fun and have a bit more balance in his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people have kind of like ripped into him for that over the years. But I think where Nick's coming from, and I can absolutely understand where he's coming from, is like, he's so talented. He knows his tennis is going to be always there at that level. You know what I mean? Like if he wants to put in a little bit of work and do a little training block before Wimbledon, for example, he's one of the best grass court players in the world. He can just rock up maybe with like half as much practice as the next guy and
still
chop
maybe
people.
Get a bloody,
chop people.
16 or quarterfinal.
100%, man. So, you know, I think for him, it's just about like he's a relatable character because like, mate, I've spent a lot of time with him. He's just like a good bloke, man. Like he's just a guy you'd love to have a beer with at a pub, mate. Like we've had when I'm with him, man, my face hurts from laughing so much. Like he's just a chill dude. You'd love to have a beer with him at the pub, and he's just so relatable in that sense because he's not these tennis robots that go out and like just drill balls all day and like, you know what I mean?
That's probably why he cops so much shit too, because that sport specifically is so traditional.
Yeah, exactly.
And he breaks the mold.
I think him and Thanasi Kokkinakis, obviously they changed the face a little bit when they won the doubles, which is great to see. Like, I think the sport needs that. Yeah. I think the sport needs Nick Kyrgios and Thanasi Kokkinakis more than anything right now.
100%.
You know, like, I think that's exactly what they need. They need guys, in a sense, like me, doing crazy shit on the boundary as well. Like, I think they need, like, a Bruce McAvaney of tennis.
Speaking of what you were doing on the boundary through the service games of the opposition, that was in question.
Like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
You know, that I feel like the sport needs more of that. Otherwise, it's going to be left in the wayside. wayside, man, because, you know, soccer's becoming so massive in worldwide, becoming bigger in Australia now as well.
Correct.
And, you know, like rugby, footy, you know, like everything's, you know, it's going to be forgotten unless we can have more characters and personalities like that in the sport.
Yeah,
you know?
because and it's only here for once a year that we're close to it. Unless you're a worldwide tennis fan, you're only watching it through January.
Yeah, 100%. And I think most people who have never played tennis before and just see it roll around in January and they go, oh yeah, let's go to the tennis, they probably don't realise how big tennis is on an international scale.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing I really like about it. Like, you can go pretty much anywhere in the world, in like a third world subcontinent country, and then like, you know, they still know what tennis is and they're still trying to have a hit. And it's like, you know, it's actually the reach of the sport is insane.
It's massive.
Yeah,
it's massive. Insane. Even the prize money is fucking insane.
Yeah, at the top tier level of the sport, like it's gnarly. But, you know, if you're not at the top, if you're not in the top 100, or I would even say top 80 these days, you're really struggling.
Yeah.
It's brutal, man. It's cutthroat.
Okay.
I mean,
one of the
talk about tennis.
There we go. There. Now look, I love this. I haven't even mentioned he's got the sunglasses on, ladies and gentlemen. No, when you come up with creating content, what's your sort of like? Give me a bit of the creative insight of how you work with that, because you kind of do some grab things on trend and put the Elliot Loney spin on them.
I probably, like, to be honest with you, man, I've definitely been lazy a little bit. Like I was at the Comics Lounge the other night, not going to name who said it, but like I saw a comedian I used to gig with. He's a super talented guy. He was actually one of the headline acts. And he's like, mate, it's really good to see you again. And like before we sort of went on stage, he sort of stopped. It was just us in the green room. And I just finished my set and he saw how like buzzing I was. And he goes, man, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but like you are an incredibly like wasted talent. And I was kind of like, holy shit. And he was like, yeah, man, like, you know, I feel like you just need to figure out what you need to do, orient yourself and actually aim towards that. Because I know that you feel as if you can do so many different things, but you need to like, need to pigeonhole it. And I was just like, thanks. Like, I kind of like really appreciated him saying that, because I was like, you're probably right. I kind of do feel that way. And like what I was explaining a little bit earlier is like how my brain works so differently. Like I can't do a maths test. Mate, I can't do my times tables. Like I'm autistic with that shit. Like,
really?
I'm like, mate, I'm so bad at maths. But then if someone says to me, like, come up with 20 creative ideas, out the box ideas for this thing, I'll sit down for an hour and I'll have 100. Like it's not, I don't know, man. My brain works differently. Like creatively, I feel like it's always buzzing. And then like, if I try to do some maths, can't fire it up at all.
That is so random.
Yeah, it's so weird, man. I can't explain it, but yeah, my brain just works differently. Really, it does work differently.
Have you gathered where you want to orient now? Because you've obviously doing stand-up comedy, but there's a bit of a purpose to that in the short term.
I think obviously there's, like I said, there's that really big thing that's coming up for me in a couple of months, which will be on TV and stuff. It's going to come out soon, which I'm hoping will, you know, garner me a new audience and like maybe help me
blow the shit off the fucking roof.
Man. Yeah, fingers crossed, man. So I just think that's part of me getting back into stand-up, but I do need to start making more videos too, and just get out there and just like start posting heaps more.
Yeah.
Like whether on TikTok or Instagram, because like I said before, that's all about like getting the notoriety and stuff. Like all the guys that blow up, they become topical, and then that's when people want to get to know you again and talk about you and stuff like that.
Bro, it fucking generally makes me happy when I see that shit from you.
Yeah,
just because like I literally like watched that. Like I watched the Johnny Depp one and Amber Heard. I'll touch on that because it's like, this is why you put your spin on. You nailed Johnny Depp's like accent, and then Amber Heard comes down and you just implement like a smacky kind of vibe, and I'm like, that's the Elliot Loney twist, bro.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. That's the weird stuff. But yeah, like even at the moment, like I'm doing a few brand deals at the moment, like coming up. Like I do like a few influencer thought things.
Yeah,
I'm doing something for Coca-Cola coming up.
Fuck no, that's huge.
Yeah, man. They asked me to come up with a few concepts, and like my manager was like, "Oh, can you come up with a few concepts?" I was like, "Yeah, probably." And I just sat down, man. It was like honestly, like couldn't. Like I just did it so quick, man.
Really?
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like, and it's funny because like I find that really interesting because like I only found out recently how much money is in creative advertising. Like I can't believe how much these teams charge to come up with ideas and stuff. And that's actually what I used to do, man. I worked for a digital marketing agency a few years ago, and they would hire me to come in 2 days a week. They'd have a fucking team of people, like 15 people in a board meeting that were trying to come up with ideas. And I'd just go into a whiteboard and I'd have a look at the brief and I'd just go, have you thought about that? And they'd all be like, oh, fuck.
God, no way.
Like, yeah, literally, man.
But how would you do what's the sort of comic relief, for example? Maybe don't use Coca-Cola for but like as a brand, like what do they do? Is it through advertising?
Yeah,
like
I think
TV,
that's what they usually do. Like they
TV
hire like
ads?
creative advertising agencies to help them with their campaign. They'll be like, we want to do a campaign around this for this particular product. Can you help us come up with some ideas on how to market it or some funny ideas on how we can, get eyeballs on it kind of thing.
Right.
And they're throwing in, they've just got teams of people that are literally sitting around all day trying to be creative and come up with ideas and stuff like that. Okay. And I've always thought, like, I never really found myself in that space aside from when I was doing that, but it's just something that's always come really natural to me.
Okay.
So I'm like, creatively, that's probably something I could be doing in the future as well, because I don't know, because my brain's so fucking weird and I think so differently. Like
it's incredible.
Yeah, I think that's probably something that I could definitely see myself doing, because it's a blessing and a curse, because I'm thinking in backwards.
But it's special, man. And I think with what's coming up, it's pretty exciting, bro.
Yeah, it's really exciting, man. I'm really excited, and like I think that's exactly what I needed to get myself up and going again. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. Did you read my Facebook post? I don't know if you saw it.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't even know
man,
if I follow you on Facebook.
It's fine. Thanks, mate.
But I don't actually use Facebook. But,
no, that's fine, mate. Nice recovery.
I don't actually. Ladies and gentlemen.
I'll leave the van.
Why the fuck are you doing
that fucking Elliot Loney, mate?
Why are you doing Facebook posts?
Oh yeah, I know, it's pretty redundant.
People still use it, seriously.
Yeah, people still do, but I had to use it because it was like, I felt like I needed to get off my chest, so I wrote everything that I'd sort of been experiencing and why. So I wrote this like pretty big, like I think it was like a 5-paragraph thing. Yeah, and I couldn't even fit it on Instagram, so I just thought, I'll just post it on Facebook. People can read it if they want. So that's kind of what it was.
And what was that along the lines of what you're talking about?
Yeah,
now?
But man, just how bad things got. Like I think I sort of touched on it in the posts. If for anyone who wants to read it on my Facebook page, my comedy page. But
is that like it's not your personal page?
No, it's my comedy page. Right. But
get around it, people.
Yeah, get around it. But sort of what happened was, man, in 2015, 2016, like I was gigging flat out. I was a finalist in Raw Comedy. I won like a stand-up comedy competition, and I felt like I was just like kind of on this trajectory. And then I just started like overthinking stuff, and I put like this really ridiculous pressure on myself, because I was like, everyone now expects me to be a certain way. Like when I was first starting, I felt like I had no expectation, and it was all in my head, man. Like no one fucking thought this. Yeah. But I felt like I had to bring a certain standard, and so I was like so in my head, man, that I literally found myself in this perpetual state of performance anxiety that literally got so bad, man, that at times I would just go to gigs and go out the back door before my name was called out. Ended up in hospital, man. Like
you're fucking joking,
yeah, seriously, man. It was that bad. Like I literally couldn't regulate. Like,
I think you told me this once before. Yeah. Where, like people would call you like, "Where the fuck are you?"
Yeah, man, it got really bad. Like, dude, I had like offers coming in and stuff, like really like genuine, like legitimate, like offers for like TV stuff, radio stuff, and I would thwart all of them, man. Like, I didn't even know behaviorally. Is that a word? Behaviorally? Yeah, behaviorally.
Yeah. I got it.
Yeah, fuck. I can't even speak. I'm having a stroke. Bringing back the anxiety now, mate. Here we go. Turning into the chapel treat smacky. Here we go. Mate, soon I'll be growing tits and my teeth will fall out. Nah, but that was just really strange, man. Like I didn't even know why, like subconsciously I was like just jeopardizing all these opportunities. And then it took me a while to kind of realize what was going on. And that's why I gave it away, man, because I was kind of like a bit conscience stricken, didn't want to like to be anyone else's burden. So I just fell out of love of stand-up, gave it away. That's just why what you're doing now is so amazing, because not many people know that backstory. Well, that's exactly it. Like not many people know what I went through to come back. Only like a few people who saw me at my lowest point really do. Like my family, I kept it from them. Kept it from everyone, man. And it was really weird because like, I'd see people out, or if people did recognize me, they'd be like, "Oh, where you been?" and stuff. And it's like hard because you can't really explain that to someone. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. Like, I'm a fucking weirdo. I've like lost my mind. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you explain that to someone? Did you seek like help or support, or did you kind of get yourself in and out of the hole? I probably should have gone to a therapist or a psychologist, but I did what like most blokes would probably do in that situation. I just bottled it up and put it in the bin kind of thing. Take 3 years to get over something. Exactly. Could take 6 weeks. Yeah. But then I just kind of read a few books, and honestly, man, it was only recently when I had this offer for this thing that's going to come up in June, July. And then like actually meeting Ibby, who I spoke about recently, because I met him, and when he told me that I was like part of the reason he got into comedy and stuff, kind of reality. It kind of just like the penny dropped a little bit, and I was like, fuck, man, like it's kind of cool to think that I have inspired people over the years, and I've kind of forgotten that. And then I was just kind of like, well, this guy's
It's incredible.
His first stand-up show was in a theater.
Yeah.
Man, my first stand-up show was in a back alley of a fucking bowling alley, like behind a shoe store. And
maybe we need to link you up with the Hour Group or something, because they fucking. Look, I don't see the difference between you and Ibby. Like, he's just regular content that has a following.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think he's super talented and stuff as well. But I definitely know that I could also be doing theaters like that if I
100%.
But at the same time, like that part of that was me speaking to him and being like, and him saying that, and then I was like, well, that's inspired me as well. So that was part of it. And then the other thing that I've got coming up in June, July was part of it. But I'm so glad that it kind of got me out of it, because I changed my whole perspective. I just went, instead of putting all this pressure on myself to be the best all the time, or try to be the best, I just thought, look, I'm just going to try and become comfortable being uncomfortable, stay where my feet are, and just enjoy the process, man. I'm just enjoying being back up on stage. Like, when I'm on stage now, man, I feel bulletproof, not because I feel like I'm the best comedian or anything, just because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck anymore, man.
Really? That must be liberating, bro.
Man, honestly, like, that's the way I've got to think. Otherwise, I'm going to end up bucking in the cycle again. Like, because, mate, that's just the way, like, because people put so much pressure on themselves, and I was a victim of that, because I'm always been my own harshest critic. But then when I just kind of let go of that and said, no, I'm just going to go out there and just kind of enjoy myself and enjoy the fact that this is me in my purest form. And that's kind of like what I've been doing, man. I've been going to these comedy clubs, where they be, like the Comics Lounge, where it's 450 seats, or like a little place in Chapel Street with 8 people. Like, every time up there, I'm just smiling. I'm happy. I'm just glad I'm there.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah. Fuck, must be. How does that feel? Does that feel like, do you feel liberated on stage? Do you feel like you belong there?
100%, man. 100%. I think, like, now, especially when I went and did the Comics Lounge on Tuesday, because that was the first, like, proper big gig that I'd done in ages, and the Comics Lounge brings a certain prestige with it. Like, it's very hard to get a spot there. You sort of have to be of a certain ilk, or like to actually even get a spot there.
That's our like Melbourne's comedy club for like.
It's honestly the best comedy club in Australia, I reckon. Yeah. And like, the guys who run it are just ripping guys, and they've always been so nice to me, and giving me, like, the shirts off their back. Dan and Grant, shout out the boys. They're awesome. The Comics Lounge is unreal. If I give a little plug, if you ever want to go see a comedy show, mate, it's open pretty much 7 nights a week. I think maybe bar Mondays, but get down there, mate. Get yourself a little gold pass and just go in there and watch as much comedy as you can, because they have some unbelievable acts, and the guys there, they run a really good show. But mate, that's
So how can people come watch you at the moment at there? Like,
well, at the moment,
or is it professionals only for when you're there?
Well, yeah, it's more just like, I'm not really advertising it at the moment, because I'm still working through my shit. Like,
so the materials,
100%. Like, I've got a lot of work to do with my writing. Like, as well, like I said, I'm very critical of myself. I record and film all my sets, watch them back, try and find out where I can make them better. Like, it takes a long time to write now. I'm trying to write every day again, but it's kind of like, man, I think, like, I'm still working through the kinks. Like, while I maintain that I do think my ceiling's really high, to reach the point that I know that I can get to, like, I've got to focus on where my holes are. Yeah. Like, I'm great at coming up with comedy concepts. Maybe my comedy writing needs work, so I'm trying to figure out how to, like, build that. And then, like, I think, like, watching my first few gigs that I did, like, a few weeks ago, like, I was probably, like, you could see I was a little bit more anxious and stuff. Now I'm, like, way more comfortable. So, like, it's about finding the pauses, like, staying in the bit, like, not being uncomfortable when, like, there is a lull, you know what I mean? Being like, you can bring them back. Like, it's just, man, it's like an orchestra up there.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Oh, well, it's going to be exciting. Now, before we round out, I do want to do some impressions.
Yeah, okay, far away.
One of the things today, excuse me, that I wanted to talk about, was the other side of Elliot Loney, which was exactly that. So I appreciate that, because not too many people know that the work you're doing now in build up for this platform you're going to be on, and also the history of you with stand-up is pretty special. When we had lunch that day or whatever it was, and you told me, I was like, fuck, that's insane, bro. Yeah. I was so not shocked, but I was just like amazed that someone as gifted as you still felt and thought that way.
Oh, yeah, all the time, man. And that's like a part of the reason why I put that Facebook status up there, because I was like, if there is people out there that actually looked up to me or whatever back in the day, whether it be now or back in the day or whatever, like, it's kind of cool, I think, for people to see that, like, everyone's human, man. Everyone has their own battles and stuff, and it's perfectly normal. It's like, it's almost good to normalize it and just talk about it. And that was all part of it. Like, since I've come back and done stand-up again, speaking to all these comedians I used to do gigs with, like, a lot of them had experienced very similar circumstances. Right. And I'm like, fuck, man, I didn't know that. Like, I thought I was the only one. But yeah, it's when you're doing like a high pressure thing in like that, like, yeah, a lot of people do deal with that. So yeah, so.
All right. Well, I was going to give you. I'm going to throw a couple at you, and then maybe you can take the floor with some. But the first two that I would like to do, I'd like you to, because of your depiction of a magpie outside, is just Bear Grylls analysing a magpie.
Oh Jesus, that's a bit loose.
All right, so I'm Bear Grylls. I've got a spot of malaria and I need to get I've never seen a bird like that before, especially of the avian variety. I might just have to rip off its head and eat it.
Oh, yes, there we go. This is how talented he is. I think I could just throw situations and you just go bang. Yeah, but let's do Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, yeah, we can do McConaughey.
Yeah, because he's actually seen your impression as well. And like literally was like, dude, that was amazing.
Yeah, he like came out and talked about it. Yeah, he actually said it. I think he's like, I just saw an impersonation of me reading an excerpt of my book, Green Lights. Now, I don't know who you are. You know who you were. But I loved it. It wasn't necessarily good. It wasn't necessarily great, but it was all right.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. What about, mate, the other day I was fucking around and because sometimes I forget I do voices. What about
Cabin? Cabin, what's up? Yeah, what's going on, guys? Yeah, I'm fucking Cabin, guys. Yeah. Cabin's got a twin. Fuck you, Kay, you fucking Jew.
How do you do Cartman, bro? That's not even a voice. It's not even like a real thing.
I completely forgot that I could do it. Cocky loves Gordon Ramsay, but I'm still working on it. But like Cocky just loves the way I say shit as Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah,
I just sit there and go, that's fucking shit. What's that? That's fucking shit. What do you call that? That's fucking shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elliot Loney, a stand-up king. Get around him. He's got a big few months coming up. Yeah. We are definitely going to stay posted. I know you'll announce it and share it with everyone soon, but mate, you're a superstar.
No, thank you,
We've got to get back to patrolling our street now. Make sure no trouble's
mate.
come down.
I know, mate. I just had a look at the reflection of my salad in my phone. I'm surprised you didn't tell me about it, mate. It does not look great.
Here we go. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.